What's up, everybody? For all the night owls out there, for the one person who's in here right now, what's going on? How you doing? Just wanted to jump on here because I was kind of bored, not really tired. Just wanted to kind of talk some Colts. So there we go. Got a few more people in here. Thank you, everybody. 12 people on YouTube right now. What's up, guys? How you doing? This is a late one, indeed. Yes, this is the one night I have where I don't actually have to get up for something. My first thing tomorrow morning, my first thing tomorrow is actually in the afternoon. So, feel pretty good about it. Just wanted to say hey to everybody. How's it going? To the 12 people in here, a lot of people in the chat already. Appreciate it. Hype for the game tomorrow. Yeah, I just kind of created this stream very impromptu because you just wanted to be able to talk some Colts since I won't really be able to do a whole lot tomorrow. Unfortunately, have my job, which it was something I planned and didn't really think about, but it's all good. And I'll be out until 7:30 ish, so won't be able to really do a whole lot tomorrow, which is unfortunate. But just wanted to hop on here and talk Colts with everybody. Thank you to everybody who is tuning in here. Really do appreciate it. So, Alex here. What's up, Nick? How you doing? Richie's in here. Hey, Richie. Good to see you. DP37. Please, AR, help this team. Jacob's in here. Dylan's in here. Richard's in here. What's up, Peyton? How you doing? What's up, Billy? Good to see you. Oh, I'm good. I'm glad. Hey, everybody do what Billy's doing. Turn on your notification bell so you can see when we go live like this. And I do impromptu streams at nearly midnight. So appreciate it, Billy. You're the best. Thank you. What's up? What's up, man? Good to see you. Richardson practice performance. Well, from what I saw, he had some nice plays, but he had a couple overthrows on some passes that he should have. Kind of what we expected overall. That was the practice I saw. So I think that shouldn't come as much of a surprise as far as Anthony Richardson. Who's going to be watching tomorrow's game? Hopefully everybody in this chat's going to be watching tomorrow. Billy's excited. Can't wait to see AR and Downs. Hit the like button, boys. Yeah, appreciate that. Thank you. I don't know what the deal is, guys. I'll be real with you for a second. I've been a little bit discouraged recently. I probably shouldn't be telling you guys this, but just been a little bit discouraged recently with I'm just kind of like, am I like doing something wrong? And I guess it's partially my fault for playing the comparison game, but see different creators who are, obviously putting in good work, but sometimes you're like, man, am I not doing something right? Like what's the deal there? So it's just kind of a little bit interesting, but I'm sure I'll get over it. But yeah, anyway, Richardson stat line projection. Well, depending how long he plays, I mean, I would like to see anything between, I would say, better than his practice, which has been high 50s. So, I mean, if he's fairly accurate, has a couple, exciting deep plays, I'm good with that. I don't know if I necessarily have like a specific thing because it's just hard to gauge how long he's going to be in there. So, sorry, I can't really give like a great one there, but what's up, Julian? Good to see you in here. Appreciate it. You've been in the channel for a while now. Andrew says mostly want to see no injuries tomorrow. Yes, fingers crossed on that one that there are no injuries tomorrow for the Colts. AR will go 10-17, one passing touchdown to Alec Pierce. Hey, I tell you what, Anthony Richardson to Alec Pierce connection is definitely one that is very, very strong right now. I would honestly say that's his best. It's his favorite weapon right now. Alec Pierce is his favorite guy. So, is Derek doing a stream during the game? No, Derek is working, unfortunately, as well. I can't. Is this Zach or Steven? I'm assuming it's Zach because we were just texting a little bit ago. But good to see you in here. Nick says, "Got to work tomorrow. Can't wait for Sunday games." Yeah, we about to go. Appreciate this. Yeah, I don't know what the deal is. I don't usually like. I don't know. I guess I don't usually like get discouraged with. I don't really pay attention to that much, but for whatever reason, it's just been something that I've kind of noticed and been like, what's going on with that? But I do appreciate that. Thank you. Dude, I'm done trying to figure out this cryptic crap with Jonathan Taylor. Like, I'm done just trying to figure it out because I can't. Like, it's just, I don't want to waste time trying to decode what Jonathan Taylor is saying. Appreciate that, Richie. Thank you. Thank you so much. Preparation and timing. You're a great man. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that. Michigan Wolverines. You've been in here forever. I really appreciate you. You've been a constant supporter of us. So thank you. Thank you. Um, Guys, drop it. I'm curious. Drop in the comments who are the top players. I mean, obviously Richardson. Outside of Anthony Richardson, who are your top 3 players on offense and top 3 players on defense that you're watching? I'm curious. Wait in the comments to wait to see what you guys drop in the comments, but yeah. Thank you. A shout out to the nearly 50 people in here. You guys coming in strong even on a really late night. I do wonder where certain people are though, because we were just looking back. Derek and I were when he came over Wednesday night. And there was a few people that like used to be in our chat all the time, and we're like, I wonder where those people went. I know it was a number of years ago now, but hopefully they're doing well regardless of where they're at. All right, Peyton says, oh wait, here we go. Yep, Trey, obviously AR, Evan Hall, Josh Downs. Peyton says Downs and Hall, Rush and Brents. Those are good ones. Offense is AP. Jack says offense. AP, JD, Will Fries. Inside the horseshoe. What's up, Matt? How you doing, man? I feel like I haven't talked to you in a while. I know there's been some weird stuff with your phone, but would love to reconnect with you soon. Silly Squirrel says, to be honest, I want to see McKenzie tomorrow, see what he will add to the wide receiver core. He's been solid in practice for sure. I think he's been a good mentor to Josh Downs. It was interesting as we were waiting for that interview the other day, like him and McKenzie and Downs and AR and all those guys were working together that probably 20 to 30 minutes after practice, just kind of working on routes, talking through things through. So definitely seems like McKenzie's kind of taking on a mentorship role with Josh Downs, which is cool to see. Fair looks good tomorrow. He's 100% ready. Bill's defense is crazy. Looking forward to see Ogletree in the secondary. Yeah, I hope that Ogletree plays. With all the tight ends out, he has a great chance to separate himself and make a case for himself on the final 53 man. Right, it's really just a log jam at the tight end position right now, but no guys that are really like making a staking a claim, on a final roster spot right now just because they haven't been out there. But hopefully he can be out there. He didn't practice yesterday. Okay. Pierce, Dio, Brent says Nick on the defense. Jacob says JT, Pittman. Obviously JT's not playing, but Pittman, AR, Shaq. Okay. Jack says defense, Dio, Daryl Baker, and EJ Speed. Michigan Wolverines says definitely Richardson, Pearson, Downs. Defense got to be the rookies. B Don 3 says Hall, Downs, Brent, Rush. Those are good ones. Chaser says Ogletree. Alex says I don't know about top 3 on offense defense, but I do know you don't sleep on Derek. Okay. I want to see what Perriman looks like. Yeah, that's just one that I don't really know. I'm intrigued with Perriman and Amari Rogers because it seemed like Amari Rogers a couple practices ago had like multiple screen passes that turned into touchdowns. So that was interesting. Jelani Woods. Well, Jelani Woods is probably, odds are he's not going to play tomorrow. He hasn't practiced at all. Oh, cool. Okay, that's good. Andrew says Dio, Jalen Jones, Shaq. Do you guys think Shaq's plays tomorrow? I'm kind of going back and forth on it. Josh says Downs, McKenzie, Juju, Darius, Rush. Chaser says I'm just super interested in our young DB. Still shocked you didn't send Eli Apple when we could have. I honestly, I'm torn with that because like I want the rookies to get experience, and if a guy like Daryl Baker is emerging, is going to be a legitimate like guy that could potentially start, like I feel better about it. But again, we have to see him in preseason. I'm sure they're monitoring to see are these young guys ready, and just want to give them opportunities in the preseason. Silly Squirrel says, "Do we expect the Colts to win tomorrow? The Bills are a tough team, especially with the rookie quarterback." To be honest, man, I never really give a crap about the score. I never really care about the score when it comes to the preseason, and so I don't even like honestly look at the score. Like I do, but I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm honestly just focused on the big guys that we talked about, and the ones I dropped in the video. By the way, that's kind of a that's my way of saying, hey, go check out the video I did with Destin earlier today, and also a plug for my channel. By the way, I am trying to do more personal. I'm trying to grow my personal brand a little bit more. Right, I've been doing this stuff for a long time, which is awesome, and I love it, and gonna keep doing it. But on a personal level, I want to, eventually, and I say eventually because I don't know what the future holds, and I really love where I'm at. But eventually, my goal and my dream is to cover the Colts full time as a journalist, and so that's just something that's always been something of a passion of mine. And I think going down to camp for 3 days in the summer, and then most recently a couple days ago, it really kind of reignited that for me again, where I'm like, man, I could do this every day. I could go out to camp every day for multiple weeks, and I could talk about the Colts. I could give my thoughts. Like I could do that and it wouldn't be a job. So that is something that I'm going to eventually hopefully do, but I am more than happy with where I'm at now. I know I'm called to be where I'm at now, but yeah, going back to the personal brand, like I want to grow my personal brand. So when I decide to take that step, whenever that would be, I have kind of a base of things I've been working on, you know, the brand I've been building for myself. And so I can lean on that when eventually I do go to that, when I do pivot to that at some point in my life. We'll see. Anyway, um, I'm sorry. Well, shout out to Jeffrey first before I get to the next question. Becoming a new member, really appreciate it. Peanut butter, partner oil says Downs, Evan Hall, Ogletree for defense. Brent's Nick Cross, Dio Adangbo. I want to talk about Nick Cross real fast. I had the great opportunity. Shout out to Austin for giving me this opportunity to talk with Chris Ballard in person. Shook his hand, was able to say hi to him, kind of, he asked some questions about, what we do, where we're from, all that cool stuff. And they were able to ask him some football questions. And so I asked him the question, like, who, or maybe he even just kind of said it as we were watching practice. He said, a guy that's really been impressing me this year is Nick Cross. He threw out that name specifically amongst a couple other names as well. But he said Nick Cross is a guy that, he was 20 years old last year. He said that wasn't his fault. And, they really like his improvement. They like his maturity, how he's grown, in a year's time. And they really like how the camp that he's had so far. So that was one name that Ballard dropped. Kylan Granson, yeah, he's pretty much been the only healthy tight end this entire spring and training camp. Billy says the offensive line. What's up, Boris? Good to see you. Yeah, Blake Freeland's a name. After I had created the video on my channel talking about some players that I'm watching, I thought about Blake Freeland, and I was like, I don't know if I would have put him on the list, but he might have been an honorable mention for me, just because swing tackle is important, isn't it? I'm late. I want to see how the Bills players react to our 6'4", 255 quarterback. Yeah, that's definitely going to be intimidating for anybody. Matt inside the horseshoe says Downs, Ogletree, and McKenzie on offense. And he says Brent's rush and AA on defense. Sola Gig Elite says, I think Shaq either plays one drive or nothing. Maybe he does. I mean, maybe it's good for him to be on there, but I mean, I think if there's any player on this defense that doesn't necessarily need it, it might be Shaq, just because he's, we know the kind of player he is, but maybe it'd be good for him to get some experience, kind of, being back if he feels like he can go and get a little bit of action in kind of a live game setting. I also want to see Nick Cross. Thought he had much. Yep. I thought he'd be much more of an impact player. You and I both, man. Like, it was just kind of shocking how just he went from like 100 to 0 real quick with the on the defensive snaps. So yeah, definitely want to see him this year. Intrigued as that number 3 safety because I would, Derek and I were talking the other day, and I said, man, like they're going to use that third safety. That's what they did last year with Julian Blackman or Nick Cross or whoever. Or I'm sorry, I always say Nick Cross, Rodney Thomas. So however you want to look at it, there were 3 safeties that played significant snaps for you on the defensive side of things. So Nick Cross now with McLeod leaving has that opportunity to step up as that number 3 guy. Do you think that they wait to add a DB until after cuts from other teams? I think that's probably the most likely thing if they do decide to pursue that route. I would say so, like an actual impact guy. And again, maybe they don't at all, but if they did, I would say that would probably be the time that I would guess. Jeffrey with the $5 super chat, really appreciate it. He says, I am just hyped for AR to play for the Colts. Let's go. It will definitely be interesting. Really appreciate that, Jeffrey. It'll be interesting to see how Richardson looks in week number 1. Yeah, so I don't think we see Shaq tomorrow, but it'll be good to see if the defense can pick up where it left off. Josh said that he's not a rookie, but I think Granson could have a bigger role this year receiving. Yeah, I felt like Kylan Granson, what he did last year, really kind of flew under the radar with everything that happened on the offensive side of the ball. In the passing game, he just didn't get a lot of looks last year, right? A lot of these guys did not get enough looks, but Kylan Granson was certainly one of those guys. It seems like every time he was targeted, he made a play. It was nothing spectacular. It was never like the burning a defender for a 50-yard touchdown, but he would consistently make those 7-8 yard catches or those, key catches on third down. And so I think it's been cool to see kind of how he improves. And I think with an actual like legitimate play caller and Shane Steichen and hopefully a quarterback that can actually get him the ball, like he will have the opportunity to shine in kind of a bigger role on this team this year. So thank you for bringing him up. Thanks, Nathan. I'm gonna keep pushing for that. I do appreciate that. Inside the horseshoe. Thank you, Matt. Eventually, we'll be doing this full time. That's the goal, man. That's what I'm hoping. That's my lifelong, or that's kind of been my dream ever since. Honestly, maybe like 2013, 2014, when I was still in high school. Like, I thought I was going for journalism. That was kind of my big thing, and then God had some different plans for me, and here I am, and couldn't be happier, and really excited where I'm at. But eventually, that's something I want to get into, and we'll see when that is, how that works. I don't know yet, but what's your thought on CJ Stroud Thursday? I felt like they pulled him kind of quick. He had an interception. All right, that's what the preseason's for. So I don't know. It's kind of like it's rookie quarterback, rookie struggles. I didn't really think too much of it. But thank you for the question. Appreciate it. Michigan Wolverines, Cody. I don't know off the top of my head, but trying to fly back to see that Cleveland game in Indy. I believe the Colts will be wearing. Yes, I think they will be wearing their City Night Edition uniforms against the Cleveland Browns. I believe that's the team they're playing. Thank you, Josh. Appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, Nick. So we had an interview with Josh Downs lined up, got it all recorded, and then found out later that the SD card I had was apparently like not good at all. And it's something that I hadn't used that SD card in a while. I really hadn't had issues before. It was something that you just totally could not predict that happened, one of those freak things that happens. And so hopefully eventually we will have the chance to interview Josh Downs again. But I was pretty upset. I was just like, are you kidding me? Like, this was a huge interview and this happens, but have to let it go, unfortunately. So real Mr. Cold, are all the offensive linemen playing? Is Smith still hurt? He didn't practice, so I would imagine, Braden Smith's a guy that if he misses a preseason game, it's not the end of the world. So probably Freeland out there at right tackle if I'm a guessing man. So yeah, I'm good with him playing with the starters and honestly the second team as well, to be completely honest with you. I agree with you. I think he needs all the experience you can give him. Where will Dallas Flowers end up? Right now, he's a number 2 outside corner. So I think him and Darius Rush, that competition's gonna really light up here in the next couple weeks, pushing to the regular season because Rush just got back, or I'm sorry, not Rush. Rush might factor in, but Brent's just got back from that injury, and I think he's going to definitely push Dallas Flowers for that other corner spot. Again, I want to see Daryl Baker in action. I mean, we've heard all about him. He's been that number one corner, and I just want to actually see him in action on against a different offense than the Colts offense. Blue. Oh, I missed this one. I apologize. What has greater odds 49ers actually for is playing to actually win the Super Bowl or the Colts making the playoff? Oh, man, that's a tricky one. I mean, 49ers, I mean, they're a good team. This might sound bad, but is it am I going to get crucified if I say the 49ers just because of their roster? They got a dang good roster, and if who knows if what happens if Purdy doesn't get hurt. So I'll go 49ers, I guess, but maybe if you talk to me in a year or two from now, I might say differently, but as it stands right now. QB2, no, I think Ellinger's QB3. I mean, I think either Richardson or Minshew are going to be QB2. Anyway, Matt, better see some AR throws, 70-yard bombs tomorrow. That would be beautiful. Ready for Mega Strong hype. Best way to watch the Colts out of state? That's a great question. I'm in state. I'll actually type that up. That's a good question. I mean, honestly, I know there's like some streaming apps and stuff. Let me see if I can find how to watch Colts game tomorrow. It is on CBS. If you have CBS, that's an option. That's a good question. If anybody out of state has something that you want to share with Jeff, I'm not really the person since I'm in state to really probably have a good answer for that. Robert, can AR throw a touchdown pass? His first pass like Manning and Luck did. Hey, that would be great. That'd be a great start. I appreciate this. This is a really nice comment. Thank you. Your channel is what really got me into football. Maybe a Colts fan. Thanks for everything. It's much appreciated. Thank you. That's a really nice comment. I really do appreciate that. I've been a Colts fan since 2006 and been doing this since 2019. So, yeah. And passion's never died, although it's been tough at times. Passion's never died. We're going to carry all four of our tight ends into the season. So 4 tight ends. I'd be fine with 4 tight ends. I think there's a lot of talent there. Thank you, Sarah. Appreciate that. You're awesome as well. Hope to see execution from all 3 faces with the new schemes and looking to see where the players are out there. One thing everyone needs to remember for tomorrow, if AR makes mistakes, that's what the preseason's for. What's more important is if AR makes mistakes, he learns and doesn't repeat them. Absolutely. Yep. There either way, there's going to be overreactions, either positively or negatively. So I try to stay right in the middle, even keel, objectively. It can be hard, I know, because if you see AR throw a 50-yard bomb, you get excited. It's exciting for sure. But with him, we knew when the Colts drafted him, they knew that there was going to be some ups, there was going to be some downs, right? There's going to be some high ups, there might be some low downs. So you just take them as you can. You take the ups when you can, you take the downs when you can, and you move forward. And I think you nailed it perfectly, real Mr. Colt. Like if he makes mistakes, like that's why you brought him in. That's what the preseason's for. Even through the regular season, like the big thing is, if I look at Anthony Richardson now to the end of the season, and if I see noticeable improvement, that's a win. That's a win, right? Doesn't have to be perfect. Right? No quarterback would be perfect. Even like a polished rookie quarterback will have struggles. So that's just what it is, especially with a quarterback with so little experience as he has. Sam hopes that AR plays 2 quarters. Josh says offensive line and corners as well as AR is what I'll pay much attention to in the preseason. Don't want to see a single field goal. All right, I'm not going to share those. CBS Buffalo. Okay. I think I caught up actually to the comments. You guys are dropping a lot of comments there. But thank you to the nearly 80 people in here. Really do appreciate you guys and just tuning in, just kind of chilling with me, tuning in, talking Colts a little bit. Like I said earlier, if you wouldn't mind, obviously liking this stream, subscribing, all that good stuff. We've talked about that before. But if you wouldn't mind checking out my other channel, I will actually drop, if you guys want, if you're interested, don't feel obligated. But if you're interested in kind of supporting me in my my journey, if you will, into trying to build my brand, I'll drop a link here. If you guys want, if you feel like you want to check out what I'm doing over there, feel free. Don't, no obligation, obviously. So, but yeah, just that's my life dream eventually, and we'll see. I'm sure one day I'll wake up and be like, I can't believe I get to do this for a living. Today's not that day quite yet, but I think eventually it'll happen. And just so I'll keep pressing on, keep grinding, keep cranking out the content, and it'll be good. It'll be good. Love to see Nick Cross ball out. Me too, man. I think he has a great opportunity to ball out. You think AR is going to go off tomorrow? Well, that would be pretty good. That'd be pretty awesome if he did. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you. Seriously, thank you. Yeah, I am. I'm actually curious where I'm at in terms of watch hours. I actually dropped a video earlier today, guys. Players to watch against the Buffalo Bills. I talked about 5 guys on the offense, 5 guys on the defense, and also 5 guys kind of on the roster bubble who I think I need to have good preseason. So be sure to go check that one out. That's my latest video I have. Yep, Jonathan Taylor expected back next week. We'll see. I'm kind of just like with this saga, like, can we just get it over with already? I'm tired. I'm tired of it. I'm sure we all are. What do you think Evan Hall's ceiling is? I haven't even thought about Evan Hall's ceiling. That is actually a question that I have no clue. I mean, I thought he was going to be just like a primarily like a. This is probably not a great comparison, but like I don't know why I think like Austin Eckler type of running back, but I would say this, like was kind of surprised how well Evan Hall runs between the tackles. Like I did not expect that because that really wasn't like Nyheim Hines' game, right? It really wasn't his game. And so I feel like he has a little bit more in that department than maybe I was initially expecting, because when you see a running back that catches as many passes as he does, you immediately think, oh, that's all he can do. It's just a specialty back. But I feel like he can do a little bit more in that department. You should do a Tuesday football banter show with creators from other fan bases to discuss where each team is standing in the divisions and their outlook on the next week. Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be awesome if I have the time. That would be sweet. Definitely wanted to get back. That actually just reminded me. Definitely want to get back to getting content creators from on YouTube covering the team that covers the team that the Colts will be playing that week. Probably like a Tuesday, Wednesday type of drop like we used to have, right? So I feel like with last season, we eventually just were like, it's not even worth getting guests. The Colts are just so miserable. We're just going to give the previews and everything. So we're hoping to get back to that this year and kind of get back to where we were. So yeah, thank you everybody who checked out my channel. I appreciate that. I want to see AR hurdle some people. What do the Jonathan Taylor eyes mean? Your guess is as good as mine, man. Your guess is as good as mine. Why do you think Kareem Hunt wasn't signed? Either he this is kind of some speculation that I have heard, and again, it's all speculation, so who knows? I've heard potentially was there an injury? That was one thing I've heard. I don't know how accurate that is. Another thing I heard is like, since the Colts called and offered him more money, maybe he's just checking out the market, seeing, oh, is there more money to be made potentially? And maybe that's kind of his thing. And then eventually he'll decide where he wants to go. Because I think the Vikings hosted him today, if I'm not mistaken, or I guess yesterday. So he's just taking his time, seeing what's the most he can get. And I don't blame him with the current market, to be honest with you. So I think that's probably why there's no rush for him to get back and no rush for him to sign with the team. Um, what's your record prediction if Jonathan Taylor's back and healthy versus if he's not? I mean, I would say if he's healthy and if he's 2021 Jonathan Taylor, certainly a couple game difference. I mean, I was going to say with Jonathan Taylor anywhere from 6, 7, 8 wins. So now I might say 6, 5 or 6. I don't know. I think it definitely would if he is the Jonathan Taylor 2021. There were clearly games that he basically won himself. So if he is there and if he is the Taylor of 2021, then certainly I give you at least 2 probably wins or so more with him versus not. I don't know. I don't know what the eyes are. I have no idea. I mean, Matt thinks that the eye emoji is because they saw Derek with breadsticks. So your guess is as good as mine. Do you think the O line will get back to where they were? Can't get much worse than last year, right? I don't know if they'll get back to that because obviously guys are, especially like Kelly, he's had a couple bad seasons. So I don't know if he'll get back to his form. But I think the offensive line will certainly be better than it was, no doubt in my mind. And it really will hinge, obviously. I mean, you're talking about look at the 28. I'm gonna say you're referencing the 2018 offensive line. I mean, you look at that offensive line. I mean, Anthony Costanzo. I mean, he just was a stalwart on that offensive line for so long. And again, it really will hinge on Bernard Ryman at left tackle. If he can take the leap, I don't know if it'd be there quite yet, but I think it certainly has a chance to be on the up and up. I think it's better than people are thinking it is. I get this feeling there's that rejuvenation a little bit with this unit, and it seems like the different approach that's being taken on that offensive line with Tony Sperano. It just seems like the guys you can clearly see it. Like they're just more. I don't know. Like it's almost like they kind of got their swagger back a little bit. Like they just felt like they were kind of just going through the motions. I coach middle school football, and one of the things that just drives you crazy is when people are just lethargic and they don't seem like they want to be there. Whatever, and it just doesn't seem like they're putting their full effort in. And sometimes that's how it felt with the offensive line. They just were kind of there because they were getting paid. But it seems like it's a little bit of a different kind of feel around the offensive line this year. I guess we'll see. What are they saying about Ryman in camp? Honestly, I haven't heard a ton about Ryman, to be honest with you. I've heard more about Will Fries than Bernard Ryman. But I mean, I guess no news is good news for Ryman right now. Again, like I haven't heard a whole lot about him, but I would assume he's doing well from what we've heard. I have to ask JT Boars could be facility. Oh yeah, the breadsticks. I don't know how Derek just destroys those things, man. That gives me a stomach ache. It just that sounds miserable. Any other questions you guys have for me here tonight? I know it's getting a little late, so people are probably heading to bed, but just wanted to hop on here. Just talk, Why not? Hmm. Wonder how stuff is going right now. Good stuff. Oh, good, good. Yeah, like I said, guys, I'm really gonna try to ramp stuff up on that other channel. I kind of had to take a little bit of a break. Um, I had to take a little bit of a break just because a lot of things were happening. A lot of new things were happening. So, but now trying to get as football season's getting back into full swing, gonna start getting out multiple, different videos and stuff throughout the course of the week. So, good stuff. Appreciate that. What do you think's the best sandwich of all time? Oh boy, best sandwich of all time. Gosh, that's a great question. I'll tell you what my mm, man, I don't know. I feel like I don't have like just one. Like I feel like I alternate between a couple. Like if I get a chance, like if it's on the menu for if I'm sitting down at a restaurant and I have the chance, um, hmm, I don't know why, but I love okay, very Indiana. I love the tenderloin. Pork tenderloin is where it's at. Always love that. Anybody like the French dip sort of stuff? Like I really like that. I don't know why. That's always been really good to me. Those are some of the good ones. Good Philly. Oh yeah, yeah. That's a good one. Good Philly cheesesteak is hard to beat. Here, ask your question again. I didn't think I was missing yours, but maybe I was. I don't think I missed your questions. I answered your question, Boris. I answered your question about Kareem Hunt. I am pretty simple, to be honest with you. Like, I'm not really like I'm not really like a stingy or a picky eater, really. There's a couple things I don't like. Like, I'm not really a big like olive person. Like, I don't really like that kind of like on my sandwich. Um, I feel like I've grown in my appreciation for like mustard, although it's still not my favorite. I don't know how we got into this, but um, hmm, yeah, yeah. Good evening. Okay, coming to Nashville for the Titans game in early December. I live here and have to deal with an obnoxious Titans fan. I can imagine that's probably one of the most miserable places to be as a Colts fan, just having to hear like Titans fans just talk all the trash. And it's funny because it's like, what do you really have to talk about here? What have you really done? Respect the choices. I thought I had one more, but I can't remember right now. But anyway, oh, yeah, I was gonna say, I also don't really like tomatoes. It's weird, I like everything tomatoes make, but I don't like just plain tomatoes. So, I'm weird. Can't do mustard. I'm good with mustard. I more like it on, like, burgers than anything, but not really, like, on sandwiches per se. More like that, but Tennessee trash cans. I think they will. I don't see why not. Keeping all 3 quarterbacks for the Titans. If Malik Willis gets cut, that's kinda wild to me that they would pick him in the 3rd round and then cut him, like, a year later. That's crazy. Barbecue pulled pork's good too. So, like I said, I like all things, so it's hard for me to pick a favorite. Probably the only Colts fan in Texas. Grew up in Indy, though. Honestly, with how big Texas is, I'm sure there's probably a decent amount of Colts fans there. I mean, who really roots for the Texans? And, the Cowboys haven't won anything since before I was born. So maybe there's Colts fans there. I don't know. You're going to the Houston game September 17th. That's awesome. That'll be fun. Cutting Willis to keep a worst quarterback on the roster be the most Titans thing ever. Well, Tennessee's not really the place you go to develop quarterbacks right now. It's kind of where your career goes to die, honestly, unless you're Derrick Henry, who's just a freak of nature. No garden tomato with Duke's mayo and lots of salt and pepper. How many of you guys live in Indy? And if you do, what are some good spots down in Indy? Like, I'll probably go to a game or two this year. What would be some good like sandwich places that you'd recommend? Oh, Sports Glory. Do you think AR5 is the best quarterback since Andrew Luck? Most exciting? I can't really answer that question because I have no clue with him. I think he has all the tools, but we'll see. Tailgating show. Man, if we had season tickets, we don't have season tickets this year. But we will be doing a pregame show. Like we will be doing that with kind of the switch. So just to give you guys a little insight, I'm getting personal tonight, but that's fine. So a little bit of insight. I was at the last job I was at. It actually my shift or kind of like where my responsibilities, I should say, and the time that I was at work has changed. So I'm going to actually probably be available most weeks, unless, of course, I have like lunch plans or something with people. Be available most weeks for like our pregame show, which is cool. Be a little bit more involved there. Before it was, I would barely get home in time for the game to start, and now like I'll actually be able to get home at a decent time, even probably before noon, which is just awesome. So, food places in Indy. Always wanted to go to an away game. Food places. Matt's asking that too. But Bub's Burgers and Carmel. Really? Okay. Shapiro's. Do you think AR plays a full half or quarter? If I'm doing it, I'm playing them the half. But again, I'm not making the decision, so we'll see. Live in Virginia. Who happy? Personally, never wanted him for the Colts. Yeah, I was never a Will Levis guy. Like I know a lot of people were, and that was kind of it was crazy. Like I felt like there were so many people saying Will Levis is the guy, Will Levis is the guy, and I was like, I kind of came to the point at the end where I was like, if they take a young quarterback, I'm fine with it. But like obviously, I felt like Richardson had the highest ceiling. I was a Stroud guy. I liked C.J. Stroud, but obviously Houston took him. I think he can be a solid player, and I think he showed some things in the last game of the year against Georgia. But again, he's on the Texans, who haven't really had a great history with quarterbacks either. How do you feel about Stroud last night? He's a rookie on a bad team, so he'll make mistakes. He'll learn from them. I mean, selfishly, as rooting for the Colts, like I hope he doesn't. But again, like I'm not going to look too much into a preseason game. Wonder if Josh Johnson will give us TY flashbacks. Oh, that's a tall order. Josh Johnson's been everywhere. I'll say that. It seems like every time I hear, every time I see, when I've been out there, a couple practices, Josh Johnson's making plays. Again, with McKenzie being out there, he may not get a starting role right away, but I think he definitely will be involved. So, well, I see the numbers kind of dwindle a little bit as we're approaching 12:30. So I guess I'll get any last questions that you guys might have regarding the Colts. Anything else you want to talk about? I didn't actually. I was actually watching the Johnny Manziel thing on Netflix. I just finished it before I hopped on here. Wow, talk about crazy. I mean, there were things I knew about the whole his dad faking a heart attack or whatever before the combine because he went out and partied and had drugs in his system. That was crazy. But then, like, he revealed, like, at A&M, he had like the third string quarterback, like, he used his urine sample and stuff, and like that's just crazy stuff, man. Like, what in the world? How did that guy like get? How did he like do that stuff and then perform on the field the way he did in college? It's just crazy. It's just a whole crazy thing, and like some things like paint them in a light where like everything's good now, and everything. I felt like it was a little bit of like a little bit like up in the air with Johnny Manziel. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't like a great solution like we're like, yeah, that happened and everything's great now, which I kind of appreciate. Anyway, do you think the O-line rebounds this year? I I think they do. I think they do. I think they have to. I think it was getting the message was getting stale with what Chris Strasser was trying to do on that offensive line. It felt like every year he came, that offensive line got worse from 2019 on. Every single year, it got a little bit worse. So I do think it got worse. I do think it will rebound this year for sure. Adebawari, that's been a guy that I haven't really heard a whole lot about, to be completely honest with you. I This is what I think Ballard talked about him. He said he looks good. He has a chance to be a good player, but he's still a rookie. So I don't really feel like the Colts are relying on him super like to do a whole lot his rookie year, which is fine. Um, the Hunt deal, I talked about it a little bit earlier, but I think it's either maybe it's a combination, honestly, but maybe there's an injury, that Hunt has, and also maybe there's he's just kind of weighing his options, right? The Colts have submitted, from what I've heard, the Colts have a deal or have an option for him, have something they've extended to him, but now he has the choice to choose. And maybe he's seeing, can I get a little bit more money from another team, or is this the best option? Go blue. What's your bias on how the JT situation concludes? I ultimately think they're going to get a deal done. I do. I think Jonathan Taylor. I mean, he's got to gain some awareness at some point that he does not have the leverage. Like, I would think that, but saying that, I don't know with some of the stuff that's been happening recently. But I think a deal gets done, and I want to believe that he'll be reasonable enough, but it hasn't really happened here recently. What's up, JDW? Good to see you in here. What's good? What's good? Real Captain Luck. Oh boy. Oh my. Yeah, I'm starting to feel it a little bit. I think I'm definitely starting to feel it. You're late, JDW. I've been on here for nearly 50 minutes. That's crazy. That's crazy. Well, I hope you guys have enjoyed this. I've certainly enjoyed just hopping on here, seeing some people I haven't seen in a bit, and seeing some new people I haven't talked to. So, unless there's anything else, guys, I think that's all I just wanted to talk about. Just hop on here for a little bit, midnight stream, hang out with y'all, and yeah, other than that, I don't really have anything else on the agenda. But this was a personal stream, I guess, a little bit more. So, thank you guys. Thank you. I appreciate this. Yeah. Yeah, I'll probably try to get down to the Pittsburgh game this year, and other than that, I don't really know if I'm gonna go to any other games. Unfortunately, not gonna be able to go down to any more training camps as a part of the media. I don't know if I'll go down as just as a fan. We'll see, but eventually my goal is to be there every single day for media availability. We'll see, but yeah, you just got in here, Griffin. Sorry, I'm about to wrap it up here, but I appreciate you hopping in nonetheless. And if you have a question real quick, I could answer something for you or a comment or whatever. Excuse me. I don't see anything right now, but so Brent's is good to go. It seems like he's good to go. Yeah, I mean, he's been practicing, so I would think he'd be out there. Daryl Baker's had a good camp for sure. He looked good. Before you go, what are the odds of man, I don't, it's weird because I want to say I don't think the Colts are going to be bad this year, but then we saw what happened last year. I don't know. I don't feel like they're going to be great. I don't think they're going to be a playoff team, but I think they're going to get 5 or 6 wins, which I think will take them out of the Marvin Harrison Jr. sweepstakes because I don't think it can get as bad as it was last year. It just can't. Like it was just such a historically weird year altogether. I mean, that stuff just doesn't happen. So I don't necessarily see it. I think there's teams that are certainly worse. Teams like the Cardinals. Obviously, the Cardinals are probably going to take a quarterback if they're as bad as we all think. But there's other teams. Like I think I don't know. I don't know why. I feel like Houston might actually be worse than Indianapolis. I certainly think their overall talent is worse. But again, saying that, I don't know. It depends on the quarterbacks, obviously. But I do feel like the Colts have more talent than the Houston Texans do currently on their roster. And then you think about like the Raiders. Could they be really bad as well? Potentially. I don't know. I know there's some other teams I'm missing, probably on the NFC, like the Bears. I know people are expecting it. I don't know how great they'll be, to be honest with you. I don't know. I don't know. I'm trying to find worst NFL teams in 2023 and see if they. Yeah, this was the article I was thinking of. Oh, Tampa Bay was the team I was thinking of. Tampa Bay is going to be bad. I just have the feeling that I think they're going to be right in the competition with the other ones. Tennessee could be really bad too, to be honest with you. Yeah, so some of those teams I think will be maybe slightly worse. But again, Colts could be really bad, and I could be wrong. Cards look like the Cards. Stroud didn't look good. No, but he's a rookie. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I feel like I have a lot more grace with these rookies, because obviously they're going to struggle. Like we know that. Denver, I think they're going to be a little bit better than Indy this year, just because Sean Payton, I think, is not going to let that stuff slide. And I think they have the pieces to actually be decently competitive. I don't think they're like a Super Bowl contender, but like I think Sean Payton, if he can get Russell Wilson back on track after the disaster that was Nathaniel Hackett last year, I think they have a chance to potentially maybe be like a wild card team. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see. Again, it all hinges on Russ. If he's as bad as last year, there's no way they're going to be there. But we'll see if Sean Payton can work some magic. You think Russ is done? We'll see. He might be. He might be cooked. But all right, guys, I'm just going to hop off here now. Probably going to hit the sack, go to bed. But just want to hop on here, say hey, talk to you guys. Appreciate you. And appreciate all the people who did tune in to or checked out my channel. So thank you. Really do appreciate that. You guys rock. But other than that, guys, I'm just going to hop off here. And I'm sure I'll see you guys soon and be on the lookout tomorrow. We'll have some content. We won't be streaming as a reminder, but we'll have the content before and after and all that stuff. But see you guys later. Have a good night.